It helps to know the organizational structure of any department before you report to work. In the past, marketing and sales were two important departments, but not terribly high in the organization. Today, marketing has become a C-suite position because the process of communicating with customers has changed so rapidly over the past 2 decades alone. The head of most marketing departments are now called CMOs, or Chief Marketing Officers. This executive might report directly to the president or chief operating officer of the company, so they're quite senior. The CMO will have deputies in charge of major functions within their departments, and each of these deputies will have employees supporting those functions inside and outside the company. So let's take a look at the major ones. As we've said, marketing departments have become increasingly important in determining what customers want in for-profit and not-for-profit organizations. If you have a greater ability to find out what your audiences want in detail, you can use that information to design or refine a product or service. It could make or save your employer a lot of money, too. Some companies will place research and development, or R&D, inside the marketing department. Say you're working for a consumer products company that makes paper towels. You might find engineers, technicians, and product testers working very closely with marketing experts who are constantly talking to consumers about what they want in their next paper towel or other cleaning products. And by working together, the scientists and the marketers develop the features and messages to sell them. Here we're talking about researching the customer, not products. It's important for a business or nonprofit to learn everything about the people they serve. There are 2 kinds of research. Secondary research comes from existing sources like the internet, newspapers, or pre-existing reports. Primary research includes focus groups, survey research, in-depth interviews with customers, and usability testing. Secondary research is cheaper and faster than primary research, but it may not be specific enough to address what the company needs to know. That's something the marketing department needs to decide. And only very large companies do customer research in-house. Smaller companies typically outsource this function on a project basis. One of the first things we mentioned in this marketing segment was branding. The marketing communication, or MarCom function, exists to support the brand. That responsibility can be as wide or as narrow as the organization needs it to be. The MarCom team can involve any or all of the following professionals: creative directors, graphic designers, copywriters, photographers and videographers, media buyers, print production experts, brand experts, and analysts who measure the success of marketing campaigns. Bottom line, MarCom makes sure everyone is following the same playbook when it comes to the organization's brand. Public relations is all about direct contact with the media to get the word out about what the company is doing. Marketing departments may or may not be supervising these professionals who have direct contact with TV, radio, print, and the rising number of online journalists who have direct contact with your company or organization. PR is sometimes referred to as unpaid media, meaning that the company does not pay for the publicity they receive, making it relatively cost-effective compared to advertising. But because reporters ultimately write the story they choose, it can be an unpredictable method of spreading your message. That's particularly true with so many news outlets springing up on the internet. We'll take a break here and return in a moment with the other key members of the marketing team. Let's move on to the other important functions within a typical marketing department. Advertising, unlike PR, is the marketing option that the company designs and pays for. That gives it the most control over its message and when and where it appears. But that's about all marketers control these days in the world of advertising. Again, it's all about the internet and how it's disrupting our attention span. Audience patterns have changed for TV, radio, print, direct mail, and outdoor advertising, better known as billboards. Advertisers clamor to put their brands on everything from team jerseys to stock cars racing around a track at 200 miles per hour. And then there's advertising on the internet itself. Ways to do this are evolving every day, but the current model is called pay-per-click, or PPC. An advertiser will pay the publisher of a website only when a visitor clicks on the ad. The challenge, of course, is providing online advertising so good it will click through to a sale. By the way, we haven't said a lot about skill building. As you research career choices, investigate the technical skills that will make you more useful in these workplaces. You'll make yourself more useful if you can train on the fundamental or technology skills needed in the department you're aiming for. In marketing, if you've never heard of SEO or search engine optimization, it's the practice of getting a website to rank high on search engines when someone searches for a given search term or phrase. Helping your employer get high rankings on search engines might be one way to get the most out of your experience in marketing. And keep in mind, this training, which should be easy to obtain while you're in school, will benefit you in any job you choose after graduation. Next, let's take a look at direct marketing. There was a time when direct marketing referred only to the postcards and envelopes you received through the post office. Well, direct marketing today also means email and newsletters you receive online. Marketing departments may coordinate print and online direct marketing campaigns or handle them separately. Direct marketing is generally data intensive. The direct in direct marketing is all about being able to track how a recipient behaves after they receive the piece of information you sent them. That's something called the response rate. Getting the best response rate starts with a mailing list of prospects likely to buy. These are called leads, and they're particularly critical in B2B sales. So let's talk about sales, a department that typically falls under the marketing umbrella, but depending on the organization may stand on its own. Like most functions within organizations, sales has been radically changed by the internet. Some human sales functions have certainly been replaced by technology, but in many cases it's made the art of human-based selling sharper and more efficient through availability to data and tools that save time and effort. While you'll see salespeople in retail stores, most of the highest job in sales are on the business side, so we'll spend most of our time there. Salespeople may be employed inside or outside an organization. They may be full-time employees on salary or independent contractors working almost totally on commissions with bonuses for reaching certain sales goals. Compensation models tend to be industry-specific. But here's an important question. How do salespeople find customers to sell to? That's where marketing staff comes in. They generate the essential fuel for a sales force. They're called leads. A lead starts with the name and contact information of a person likely to buy from your company. Likely is a critical word because just because someone buys heavy machinery for their company doesn't mean they're going to buy from you. You need to know as much as you can about a potential customer, and that's what separates a good lead from a bad lead. Good leads go well beyond names, titles, and contact information. They'll include data about that particular person's buying needs in the coming weeks, months, and years. They'll also outline how much budget they have and authority they have to spend it, and anything else relevant to their business needs. So where does this information come from? Any place a marketing staff can get it. Some telemarketing goes on, but remember what we said earlier about trade shows? People may say conventions and conferences are old-fashioned, but face-to-face contact can make a lot more difference than a cold call. We've talked about how companies build revenue. Now we're going to discuss how they boost their profits. Next, operations.